Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jay. He's Maddie. This is Yankee and the Brit Sports Talking. Today, we're going to give you our Week 11 team power rankings, 1 through 10, starting at 10. Let's just jump into it, Maddie. I got the prisoner of the moment, Kansas City Chiefs, number 10.
I've got the New England Patriots at number 10, which is a big rise from me in this last because I just totally forgot about them, to be honest, last week. They've been playing incredible football and they deserve to be in the top 10. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are a top 10 team.
Yeah, but it's like, am I a prisoner of the moment because do I think they're back from their game and they've been playing awful at times? So I figure until they pull it together for a couple weeks in a row, I'm the prisoner of the moment, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but they're a good team. They have a top 10 roster in the NFL. So if they just play decent football, then they will be in the top 10. And I think the reason that I'm defending you so hard is because I'm even more prisoner of the moment. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs at number 9 on my power ranking.
Well, for me, the number 9 team is also in the AFC, and that's the Buffalo Bills.
Right, yeah. As we were just saying, the Chiefs are a top 10 team for me. They were a top 10 roster and they've come back and they've played a really good Raiders team who were in our top 10s last week. They've played a really good Raiders team and absolutely blown the doors off them.
Yeah, and I got the Bills at number 9. I think the Bills are a good team, but again, if you watched our last video, they don't have a running game, man. And that scares me going into the playoffs, and I know they just routed the Jets, but it's the Jets.
Yeah.
But the Bills can play. They're a good team. The only reason they're not any higher on my rankings right now is because I got a lot of questions on how far they can go without a running game.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense.
Well, going on to number 8, I got the New England Patriots, your number 10 team. And I just think that this bottom of it, it's so jumbled and it'll change week to week. But I don't love that they put the beating on the Browns, but I love the beating they just put on the Browns.
Yeah, 100%. That's a really, really good win. The Browns are a top 10 roster in the NFL, 100%, and they absolutely smashed them. I've got the Baltimore Ravens in a number 8, falling from number 3. From last week, falling from number 3 in my rankings. They just can't defend, and if you can't defend, then you're not going to win a lot of games. And I think I got overawed by how amazing Lamar Jackson was last week. I think this is a more fitting place for them.
Yeah, and we're not too far off because I have the Ravens at number 7, down from my last ranking. I still think they're one of the top AFC playoff teams, but right now, I feel like there's one team in the AFC and then everybody else when it comes to the playoffs right now, which can very well change just the way they're playing right now. So the Ravens are down, even though I think they're one of the better AFC teams.
Yeah, it's just the way that they look at the minute. They are a better AFC team, 100%, and they can beat anybody when on their day. It's just the way that they're beating those teams is a bit strange. And my number 7 pick, I've got the Los Angeles Rams coming down from 4th, thanks to the beating that they received at the hands of the 49ers. The Los Angeles Rams are an incredible football team. They just haven't been playing like it for the past couple of weeks.
No, I like the Rams. I got them a little higher than you. They're still down from last week.
Yeah.
But at number 6, I got the team that they have to come down because of the way they've been playing, but we've talked about on our videos. I'm not worried about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And neither am I, and that's why they're number 6 in my power ranking as well. I think that's just the spot for them at the minute because we know how good they are. They're like the Chiefs. We know how good they are. They just haven't been playing like it, and they're better than the Chiefs in terms of their roster, but they'll get back on track 100%. And they'll probably get back on track this week by hammering the Giants.
All right. A team at number 5 who's up 3 spots for me, but I'm still going to get murdered. Your Dallas Cowboys. And people are still going to be mad at me. And it's history. You guys, you're starting to make me a believer, Maddie. But it's history that hasn't had me catapult them yet, because I told you there's certain teams out there that I'm very hesitant to jump on board. But not that it's your guys' fault either, but I want to, because you're beating who you play and you're doing what you need to do. I just wish I could see a couple more quality teams, but you're in the NFC East, so it's not your fault. So I have a lot of faith in the Cowboys right now, even though I only have them at 5.
Yeah, you'll see us against a quality team coming up this week. We also beat the Patriots, and with the,
no, I get it, but again,
that's where I had them last week.
It's not the shit on the Patriots or you guys. I feel like the Patriots are one of those teams. They get credit when they beat somebody, but you don't really get that much credit for beating them because they're on a rookie.
Yeah, 100%.
It's probably not fair, but that's in my head.
That's where I had them last week. I've got the Buffalo Bills taking up the number 5 spot because I had them at number 8, and then all the teams around them lost this week, so you can't really.
Yeah.
So they've got to move up, and they put the beating on the Bills, but did they put the beating on the Bills? Like, that isn't just a small beating, and they can defend this year. That's the biggest change. So last year they didn't have a defense. This year they definitely have a defense. They just need to find some way of maybe getting 60 yards rushing a game without it being Josh Allen. You know what I mean?
No, it's so true. And to say just 60 yards is so like
just 60 yards would make such a difference for them. Just like 60 to 70 yards rushing with somebody who isn't named Josh Allen,
right,
would make a massive difference for them just to find a way to do that. Yeah.
Well, let's go on to number 4. I got them down a couple spots. They went down, but I didn't label them for their last loss to the Niners. It's a division game. I got the Rams. It's kind of like, that's one of those things that happens in division games. And I wonder if the Rams were kind of looking for the bye and thought they were going to walk all over the Niners. If they come out and play again like that, then they're definitely going to go farther down my boards. But number 4, the Rams.
Yeah, with the Rams as well, they've got Von Miller to come in, learn the system a bit more. OBJ come in, learn the system a bit more. There's somebody else. Who is it? I can't remember. But they've got some ballers to come in to make them a big difference once they get to learn the system a little bit. For me, I've got the Arizona Cardinals, and the reason that I've got them there isn't for anything to do apart from the fact that their 2 best players are injured, so they have to come down for me. If your quarterback is injured, and this is the 2nd year in a row now that he's been injured at this point in the season, and we did talk about when he first came out in being a small guy, he needs to just stop taking any hits whatsoever. He just needs to just fall to the ground. You don't need to make the extra yards. They'll go back up as soon as those 2 are back in the game and hammering everybody, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. But as they are, without those 2 on their roster on game day, they're number 4 in the NFL.
Well, they're down 1 spot for me from 2 to 3 at the Arizona Cardinals. And the reason I got them there is because I think they played pretty good without Kyler Murray. But the fact is, once he's back, I think they're better than the Rams.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And at number 3 for me, I have the Tennessee Titans. Now, this 1, 2, and 3 that I've got coming up can change spots a lot for me, these top 3.
And this is just an odd question, just so people out there understand where we're coming from. So when you do it, are you doing like what is your thought process as you're trying to figure out your top 10? More of how the team's going to play overall, how they're playing right now, a mixture.
It's more how they're playing. It's more how they're kind of playing right now in this moment in time. This isn't indicative of whether they're going to win a Super Bowl or not. It's nothing like that. It's how are they playing right now at this exact moment in the season, which means that's why the Cardinals have come down, because I think the Cardinals are still a Super Bowl team when they've got Kyler Murray and stuff like that as well.
No, I think we're pretty close on how we do it. So I was just wondering the thought.
Yeah, just for other people, this isn't these are the best rosters in the NFL. These are the best team. These are the teams that are playing the best football right now. And the Tennessee Titans have beat some major teams, and they're playing a brand of football which really suits them. And they seem to win no matter who they put in, even though they don't win as convincingly without Derrick Henry.
No, it's very odd how close our boards are, but yet they're not the same because at number 2, I got your number 3, Tennessee Titans, and I got them up there. Well, a lot of teams that I had better than them lost for one, right? Last week. And then I feel like they're the best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think right now, the way that they're playing, they're the best team in the AFC. I think they would beat every. If they were to play tomorrow, I think they would beat every other team in the AFC just because of how the other teams in the AFC are set up at this moment in time. If the Bills find a run game, then that would change. If the Ravens,
the Chiefs find their groove or whatever.
Yeah, the Chiefs find their groove. If the Ravens get more consistent in defense, then they'd win as well. And number 2 for me comes the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Honestly, I've got them in number 2. They did just they got a huge beating off the Broncos, so I'm not going to forget them. But the way that they lost that game and bounced back makes me feel confident that that was just an anomaly and they were just off. Like, you could tell by watching them that they were just off that game against the Broncos, whereas this week they were firing all cylinders. And the Falcons are not a terrible football team. Like, they've got some serious players. And I think it's just the defense that surprises me every single time we play at how good the defense is.
Well, even though I got them at 5, I don't have an issue with you having them at 2 because I believe it was Bill Parcells who once said, "You are what your record says you are."
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with you. I would like to see them play some better teams. It's coming up. This is the side of the schedule now where that starts to come in. I would like to see them play against a few better teams, but when they've been asked to play against those teams, they've shown up like really well. That loss against the Buccaneers was a close one.
Test, right? Well, that's week 1. It's a good test this week though, because you got to go to Arrowhead. So it's a good test for you guys.
Yeah, I would. I've picked them to win. I would like to. You've picked them to win as well. I think it's going to be a good game to watch. That's a serious game. That one.
Yeah, like I said in our last video, so go check it out. I picked the Cowboys. Would not be shocked if the Chiefs won. It's one of those games where. And then on to number 1, where we both have the same team riding 3 weeks straight for me, which just makes me want to stomp on my own heart because it crushes me to even praise the Packers, but it is Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
It's just with all the Viking memorabilia behind your head, it really makes me
hate it.
It drives me insane every time you say, "Oh, it's the Green Bay Packers are the best team in the NFL."
The only Packer I have back here is my boy that I hated for 16 years, but came over and got us to an NFC championship in Brett Favre. And then I got Reggie White, Minister of Defense. He's just, football royalty. But other than that, one for Brett Favre, and this is a ticket. That's the only reason I got that is because that's the game I went to. Because
I need to get a big Tony Romo picture right here, like a big face of Tony Romo.
Hey, just right. You need like I Heart Romo or something.
Yeah, just anywhere. Like my favorite QB, Tony Romo. My favorite commentator, Tony Romo. Like on both.
Yeah, it crushes my heart to pick the Packers for anything good. But I got to try to be realistic when we do this, or we just look like clowns.
Yeah, 100%. And I hate the Packers just as much as any good Cowboys fan does as well. It wasn't that impressive a win last week. No. But 1, it was a win. And 2, what was impressive about it is what their weakness has been for a decent amount of time, and it's the defense. Their defense has been playing some lights out football recently, and that's what wins you games. If you have a quarterback who can just make plays and is smart enough to get you through the game and win that game at the end of the day, and then you have a defense who's going to keep everybody out, including future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winning Russell Wilson, to a shutout, then you've got a whole football team that can be top of the NFL power rankings.
I 100% agree with what you just said. So to give another reason on top of that is we just did our top 5 running backs. That video's out there. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. Maddie and I had a big discussion on how there's literally 2 different types of running backs. And with the way Dylan's been playing the last few games, they got good one in both. Now,
Yeah.
Aaron Jones is out this week, but we're talking in the team overall. You got one of the better scat backs, if that's what you want to call them, and you got one of the better bruisers.
Yeah, they've got a good one in all, and then they've got a top 5, if not top 3, if not top 2, if not top 1 quarterback in the league as well. They've also got one of the best defenses in the league.
And they don't even have Alexander back yet, who is one of the better corners in the NFL, and he's coming back.
Yeah,
their best pass rusher and Smith hasn't been playing. I hate praising these guys, but like I'm actually fucking afraid they're going to win a Super Bowl, and I'm going to have to listen to everybody in my city be happy about the green and gold. Like I really am.
Yeah, and then they've got Devontae Adams as well, who can make his argument of being at least a top 10 wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver.
And you can argue that there's 5 guys in the NFL that are the best wide receiver right now.
Yeah, 100%. And he's always in that conversation 100% of the time. So when you have an offense that contains possibly the best quarterback in the NFL, two of the top 5 running backs in their different categories, so scat backs and bruisers, and then one of the best wide receivers in the NFL as well, you're going to have a potent offense. And then if you can shut people out on defense at all, if you have any semblance of a defense, then you're going to be good. But they have more than that.
Tunyon's a very solid tight end, if not better than average. And I was just listening to Patrick Peterson talk about Adams today, and he was saying that one of the things Devontae does best is, so when a cornerback lines up and say he's lined up to take away the sideline from you, he's like, Devontae Adams is one of the best of pulling you away by making you think he's going inside, and then all of a sudden he's gone outside. So if you're not very patient as a corner and you like bite on these things, Adams is going to kill you every time.
Yeah, he's Trayvon Diggs' worst nightmare.
Like, wow, he's everybody's worst freaking nightmare. Him, Hopkins, Amari Cooper, Justin Jefferson. I mean, there's a handful of guys in the league. Chase now. They're going to be nightmares for these corners for years to come.
Yeah, the wide receiver group at the minute is incredible. And the Packers have one of the best ones. And they're the best team in the NFL right now. They're playing the best all-round football in the NFL right now, and it's horrible to say. But anyway.
Anybody who's old enough to get the reference, Weezy, I'm coming. It's the big one. All right, guys. Well, that was our Week 11 power rankings. Let us know why you disagree or agree. We love to hear it. And stay tuned for some other videos, and we'll be back with a new power ranking next week. Anything else for him, Maddie, on our way out?
Nah, that's it. I'm too heartbroken.
One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.